A couple months ago, I submitted designs to TrueGreen7's design contest. If you like Fakemon and don't know, TrueGreen7 is a pretty big creator in the Fakemon community. He just did another contest and my designs made it in. Welcome wonderful souls, it's time for Brush with Death. Death is me and you can call me Grim. This video is really for the Fakemon nerds out there. A simple Fakemon design video about my TrueGreen7 starter Pokemon contest entries. Ron of TrueGreen7 has done a couple contests already like I mentioned, and my Pokemon have made it in before. I made a quick shot about the first contest entries where I evolved this apparently shark, look like the guppy to me, into Aeroticula, a spear arrowhead based fish, and this Nimbat into Kazekuro, a Tasmanian Devil Looney Tunes Twister inspired Kama Itachi. In the second contest, I gave Fiend Dyer a princess form based on a castle spire, and I gave Lateran a big stepper form based on a llama, really because I wanted to name it Lamarin. For this third contest, Ron gave us starter Pokemon to work with: Sleeve, Quickindle, and Iguana. In hopes that all three of my submissions made it, they didn't. I themed the starters around a singular theme: the golden 20s, the 1920s, Cuphead era if you need an idea of what that looks like, specifically attendees at a speakeasy club. So let's evolve these starters. Sleeve seemed like a leaf sloth, which I already made a leaf sloth potato Pokemon. If you haven't seen that video, please go check it out. So I avoided the lazy sloth concept, and with speakeasy clubs, it was common meeting place and hangout spot for the mafia, drinking the moonshine, talking trash. So for the pre-evolution, I thought a thug, a delinquent. The little leaf looks like some loose hair like Zayn Malik. He big now. Hands in the pants, pockets, face scar looking like a rock. So listen here. This is Sleazy, the thug's love Pokemon. It's grass dog. They walk in packs to find easy prey, not in a creepy way. They wanna steal berries and other stuff. It's shiny. It's purple. Why? Cause it's cool. Like I said, I gave the pose of a rowdy thug, lower ranking to collect some protection money. Wait, that's Yakuza? That's different. For the evolution, he's much more sophisticated gangster with slick back hair, a leaf cigarette, don't smoke, his fur in the shape of facial hair, and a tail coat. The big belly, which Ron and his judges didn't realize it was a belly. It's not a leaf he's holding or armor. He's a mafioso don. He's got a big budget. You know what I'm talking about. This is the Capoglia, the mob boss Pokemon, and this line has a new ability. It's just business, where it kind of works like beat up the move. It inflicts up to 6 times of attacks when the Capo enters the battle. Is it OP? Too bad.
It's just business.
Capoglia leads a gang of Sleeves and Sleazy. They typically don't enter battles on their own. But don't underestimate the Dawn. He's not to be reckoned with. Let me know, what do you think of these evolutions to Ron's Sleeves? I do see why his belly doesn't look like his belly, but you know what? Subscribe if you haven't. If not, the Capo is gonna pop a Capo in your asshole. Next comes Quickindle, the fire Ron starter made. What? This was the only submission of mine that didn't make it in, which rip. I was hoping they all did because of the theming, and I really like the evolution. The middle stage admittedly is kinda not much. It's just a girly little bird with some swooshback hair and a headband. I at least tried to give its posing some personality, but the challenge was the colors that Ron gave in his first stage. That cooler blue was rough to work with, and its entire body being this hot red and a bright orange. If you wanted to add flames, it would just blend together with a body. Not really my favorite to work with, but this is Flamper, the fancy dressed Pokemon. Fire Fairy type, and they are quick on their feet. They enjoy the company of other Pokemon and trainers. They like to sing, they like to dance, and they're very cute. The shinies is like a golden sequin dress, more similarly to a real flapper. Their cheeks got the blusher, and right foot 2 stomp, left foot 2 stomp. I enjoy how the final stage looks like though. Its feathers are a flapper dress, its long hair, long tail for some famaradare, a goofier face based on Betty Boop. And if you don't know who Betty Boop is because you're a baby, it's this hoe, a prominent cartoon figure in the golden era of animation made by Fleischer Animation Studios. Betty Burn will have a new ability called Shower Dance, where it inflicts confusion to the opponent when Betty Burn enters the field. Betty Burn is much more glamorous, much more feminine. Its headdress resembles a flapper's like headband with the long feather. On a sneeze.
Hey, you. You're finally awake.
And I gave it gorgeous blonde lock, a long tail for extra flair when it dances. Its shiny has black hair like Betty Boop, and its toenails are painted like then the lips, the lipstick. I was gonna make the chest poof bigger like Angel from Has Been Hotel, but I was afraid it might be too much for another channel's audience. Let me know what you think of the Showgirl evolution to Ron's Quickindle. Unfortunately, this was the only starter that didn't make it into the video, and to be honest, I'm surprised any of my work made it into his videos because apparently my designs are too complex or strange to everybody else. It's actually something I worry about when I finish a design because to me, my designs make a lot of sense. But oh well, let's get to the water starter. Ron's water starter Iguana is a monitor lizard with this white shell exterior that was apparently supposed to be coral. I'ma be real, that don't look like coral to me. I thought it was an egg, like a dinosaur in an egg, or just a shell armor. I figured hella people would go either Godzilla or like a bulky lizard, so I tried slender lizard route, not Inteleon. Thought it would be cool to turn the shell into instruments by making the tail into a piano and his head horns like a ocarina. He also posed like a bard or like he's singing. This is Bobop, the jazz singer Pokemon, a water steel type. Bobop, a chipper Pokemon. They're usually seen croaking in unison with other Bobop, like the Jersey Boys. The shiny for Bobop is more froggy, pond theme, like the blue and the green. But I actually think this design might be my favorite of the evolutions I made in this video. But that's not to put down Bobop's evolution. This line itself, as the theme was speakeasy attendees, you have the mafia, you have flapper dancers, and to dance, you need music. I turned the body of the final stage similar to a saxophone, and you can see that this final stage was the most difficult for me to figure out a design that I was happy with. His chest or net thing, like a monitor lizard, is what produces these musical sounds. His horns now form like a music note shape, and the animation style of this era, like Betty Boop, was rubber hose animation styles, so his legs kinda goofy like that. It's giving Poppy Playtime. Right, Dora?
Can you say it's giving? Muy bien!
This is Reverbal, the brass band Pokemon. It has a new ability called Elijah that inflicts chip damage to opponents as long as the reverbal is on the field. The reverbal line is based on jazz musicians that are in speakeasy clubs. Their throat sacs allow them to produce orchestral melodies. They stomp around in rhythm to the tunes. The shiny, of course, is this golden brass color like a real saxophone. His tail still got the piano keys, and his stomping feet are the drums. He's not just a singer, he's the entire band. Let me know what you think of my weird evolution to Ron's Iguana. Personally, I wasn't a fan of Reverbal, but he's kinda grown on me as the weirdo of the 3 starters. He's just a goofy little dude. Which starter would you pick out of these 3? I actually like all 3 of them. They got a good vibe, and I'm obsessed with the golden era, the golden 20s, 1920s, as you can probably tell if you watched my last video about Project Century. But joining these contests, even if I don't agree with some of the judgments or placements, everyone has different tastes, and my tastes are weird. Hopefully one day my weird designs can break that top 10 and maybe get recognition in this community. We'll see how we do in the next contest, if there's more, and if I make it in. If you feel inspired, make sure to join in next time too. No harm in at least submitting an artwork. So keep creating, and maybe you'll have a brush with death. I'll see you next video. Oh happy day. Oh happy day. Oh happy day.